And was my mic off for a whole bunch of that? Hopefully not, but we're back live now. Such are the problems with a live show. Give me a capture, no such luck. Thanks, Massive Effects. So I was asking what time zone you're in, and because I would like to try out some Galciv multiplayer for sure. I'm going to be streaming some Galciv in about 11 hours from now, so that would be like 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see. Now, unfortunately, this Ironclad does not have prize ship. He was built out manually. But we could use him to help take care of some of these other subs. Let's swing around like this. Alright, so Massive Effects is Eastern Time. So we might be able to test out some Galciv multiplayer tonight. And anyone else who's interested in joining in on that, if you happen to be part of the early access / beta version, today, Monday, May 11th, is that right? I'll be playing some Galciv at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, we were able to take out 3 nuclear subs here. There's still going to be another. It's going to make a whole bunch of trouble for us. Once I want to swing around to here, we can kill this sub with the Ironclad. Is that right? How much damage should we take? Only 20. Let's do that, and then try to damage this sub as much as we can. P32, how is Toronto today? Toronto is very overcast, and there are puddles of water on the roof that I can see outside of my window. So a little gloomy, usually not the most exciting of days. We have a lot of great admirals here. We could go and do a fleet repair, repair the privateers and the sub. I think I'm going to do that right now. Alright, so fleet repair there. If we really wanted to, we could throw ourselves at the nuclear submarine, deal 10 damage for the low price of 70 damage on our Caravel, so not really the best deal there. I don't want to lose any of these more experienced frigates, so we'll move them back. And we'll move over here. And over here. We should also go and hide the Great Admiral, maybe back here. Alright, so it would have been nice if we have captured a nuclear submarine, but killing 3 subs and getting one down to half strength is pretty good. Alright, meanwhile, we've got an army here. What were they planning on doing? Oh yeah, that's right. We were thinking of hitting Kaopeng. So doesn't look like there's anything we need to deal with in the Atlantic. Let's send this fleet over to the northern Scandinavian coast. City connection established. We're now pumping 78 gold per turn. That's excellent. And who do we have to shoot at here? Looks like Rome's got a scout out here for some reason. And we've discovered radio, tech-wise. That means we have a tech steal coming when? 1 turn. If we're lucky, we'll be able to steal plastics. Otherwise, we'll steal flight. In which case, if I want to get over to electronics for battleships, let's put some of that science into biology. It's not along the path towards plastics or satellites. But if we do want to keep on going with this navy, we will need the oil. So, what do we have here? Another ship of the line done, that's great. Send him over this way. Bring our admiral into the fray. And what else do we need? We'll swing over this way. And we'll have a decent force to bear here. Alright, is that... Alright, now we just need to start taking shots at Kaopeng, or we can knock down this ski infantry a little. Do any of these guys have range? One of them does. Alright, let's go and park ourselves up here. Good morning, Mini Maverick. And, well, we could... Well, there's the Goliath. Alright, so maybe I don't want to send everyone within the city's range attack right away. Let's bring these guys over here to deal with that Goliath. And the next turn, we'll pillage some trade routes. And get within range of the city. So all of these guys can just park over here. Mini Maverick, I am playing against 42 Deity AI civs. This is not a multiplayer game. I think our next game in this time slot will be a multiplayer game, but I haven't fully sorted that out yet. And playing on this huge map with all these civs is definitely causing some lag. You can see that when I give an order, it takes a while for the interface to catch up, which would be super frustrating in multiplayer. And in our current situation is just makes for really long turn times and long episodes. But let's slide over like this. We got this guy. I guess he'll go and join up with the Brazilian fleet, or at least scout ahead for any approaching enemy fleets. And let's put the Caravel out front as a nice distraction. Maybe he'll take the brunt of the attacks from the privateers and the nuclear sub. Meanwhile, we've got a privateer here. I think he just finished healing up. Let's have him run over this way or sit and protect the Great Admiral. Alright, so that looks good. And we'll leave him there. So that's everything taken care of. If we go and look at demographics, as a recap for where we are, we're 20% behind the tech leader. We have a tech steal coming in one turn. Hopefully we'll be able to get plastics and then rush by a couple of research labs. And that will get us in a better position, but things are still looking like it's going to be very difficult for us to win. I'm just noticing now that Portugal has a lot of trade routes heading towards us, which is really nice. How much gold are we getting off of that? Portugal is sending 4 trade routes to us for a total of 20 gold per turn and 8 science per turn. So not really that much of a boost, but certainly welcome. Alright, we'll flip that over to strategic mode so that we get the slightly faster turn transitions. Keep an eye on the Brazilian fleet, see what's happening there. And yes, unfortunately we won't be able to pillage that cargo ship. It is Sweden's, not Denmark's. Thanks, Massive Effects. Massive Effects is talking about they just got into Galciv 3 as well. For those of you who weren't there for my live stream on Saturday, I hadn't played any previous versions of Galciv, so I was sort of fumbling around blindly trying to figure out what was going on. It definitely seems like an interesting game, lots of different parts to play with, and it definitely looks really cool, so I'm interested to play more of that soon. But don't expect to learn any advanced strategies or tactics from me for Galciv, but since the game is new to me, I might be better able to point out things that would be good for other people who are also new to the game. That is, I've been playing a lot of civs, or I've played a lot of civs in the past, so it's hard to remember what things new players have trouble with. But I guess if you're going to follow my Gal Civ series, you'll be trading expertise for having someone who's closer to the beginning, closer to inexperience, which, so long as I do a good job at learning and explaining, could be a good show. Now let's go and look at some of the comments over from YouTube. So, Pat Lafro says, I'm soon going to be at 6,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. That's pretty awesome. Let's go and see if we've actually hit 6,000 already. Now, if I flip over to the About page, I've got 6,011 subscribers. Awesome. While you're a small channel, which I certainly am, the 1,000 subscriber marks are nice little milestones, so that's pretty cool. My number of subscribers per day has definitely decreased relative to other periods, but I guess that's mostly because I haven't been, at least until recently, been very consistent at posting new content. I generally get busy with school now and then, and can't devote as much time to my YouTube channel as I might like. Now, and I'm also not covering a lot of new games. I guess hopefully Galciv will be a new game to cover, but I think that a lot of other people will be covering that too, so I probably won't rank too high in YouTube and Google search, which are the main ways of growing your channel for those of you who are interested in that. So for me, I enjoy sharing my gaming experience, and I enjoy strategy games, and the whole trying to build your YouTube channel is a strategy game all unto itself. Not that I think of you guys as little AI points or point sliders, but in some ways you are. You're also awesome people, but looking at the stats and learning different things about another strategy game, this one is slightly real, is also a little fun thing to do as well. Maybe I'll make a video about the whole YouTube/streaming details as well. That might be a good series. But let's see, do we have some more comments? Fraxotic has a couple questions. Looking for... Okay, so suggestions about where to put our spies. We've had really, really bad luck with where we've placed our spies, or in this particular game, for whatever reason, the AI has been really good at building out the buildings that prevent or slow spy steals and putting their spies on counter-espionage, because by and large, every single city we visited, the tech steal times have been over 40 turns, and so we've just gone and visited another we've had to relocate all of our spies in the hopes of getting more spy tech steals off, and usually we can use our spies to catch up on tech, but we haven't had much luck with that this game. Now, I'm really hoping I can steal plastics. We're about to find out. Okay, let's see if we can pop one more YouTube question before the Barbarian turn finishes. Leonardo May praises my pronunciation of Isifi. Was that it? I've already forgotten what I was supposed to say. So my apologies there, Leonardo. But oh no, and our spy was killed. We waited, so the spy in, was it Mecca, had, I think he had like a 25 or 30 turn timer for him, and so usually that would be an unreasonable tech steal spy time, but out of all our options, he was our best bet. He was also level 3 veteran. A level 3 veteran, but he got killed, and that's no... We're not going to be able to steal plastics here. We've already used our Oxford, so we can't Oxford research labs. Alright, so we're going to have to switch over to plastics, leave biology by the wayside. And let's see, Sao Luis has 3 Great War Bombers and a triplane, so we're going to want to get out of range of those guys. We'll flip this back over to the regular view. Hey, Mr. Nice Guy, welcome to the stream. I'm glad you're able to... we're able to catch that. Let's see, we definitely want to try our luck at capturing another nuclear sub, and we'll also go and capture another privateer for ourselves here. Let's move out of the way so that we're not in danger of being struck by the bombers in Sao Luis. Go and deal some damage to this privateer. Supply might be nice, extra movement. Let's grab the extra movement. Although I'm probably going to regret not taking supply soon. And okay, so this privateer captured or destroyed one of our privateers. Is that what happened? Yeah, we lost a privateer from a nuclear submarine. This guy right there, most likely. If there were more, our nuclear subs should be able to spot them, at least if they were nearby. Ganu's got the Manhattan Project. That's That's an omen if ever I saw one. Let's grab range here. And as for this guy, leave him there for now. Let's finish dealing with the Brazilian fleet first. Okay, we'll swing over to, say, here. Actually, pull back one. I want to leave space for the privateer to try to get a capture off. And if we're not going to be able to capture these privateers, if this privateer is going to be occupied with a nuclear sub, let's just kill off these units. Alright, how much damage can I deal? Is it going to risk killing this nuclear sub? I guess it's 25 damage out of 29 hit points. If you get a lucky roll, or in this case, since I don't want to kill the sub, an unlucky roll. Alright, that worked out just fine. We should be able to... well, we killed it, no capture. I guess capturing 2 nuclear subs is probably good enough. Let's move everyone back slightly. And I think that brings me over to another comment from YouTube, which I'll get to during the next turn transition. But we didn't, apart from acquiring 2 nuclear subs, we haven't really made any gains by attacking Brazil here. It probably would have been more beneficial for us had we used this fleet on, say, maybe Portugal, although Portugal is sending us some trade routes, maybe attacked Morocco, or sent these guys to knock down some of Denmark's cities a little sooner. But as it is, we're moving these guys over to do that now. Let's see, this guy's not going to be within range. I guess he can just go and take some shots at this embarked musician. And how far are we going to be able to get here? Another shot at the musician then. Come on, interface. Don't lag on me now. Alright, so Denmark does have a little artillery. Let's start knocking down Kaopeng. Waiting does mean that dealing with Denmark is going to be a little more difficult. So that is another point in favor of not having attacked Brazil. But let's go over here. We'll deal damage to the artillery. Has this guy already taken his shots? He has not. Alright, well, we'll deal damage there. And that's all of our frigates. This guy's already taken his shots, he just has logistics, so he has some movement left. We finished a workboat here to repair these crabs. So that'll be more happiness. We could also go and sell that. I'm really disappointed that our spy never got a steal off. That really would have helped us along. Shaved 11 turns off of our tech. Let's send the caravel down, see if Brazil has another fleet headed towards us. And we do need to think about whether or not we want to, or where we want to send this fleet. With the 3 Great War bombers, attacking St. Louis is going to be tricky. We would definitely risk losing a bunch of our frigates. Alright, we can promote this guy. Let's give him bombardment. And another unit needs orders. This guy. Well, let's see. Great War bombers have how much range? Don't recall off the bat. I think it's 6. But we can check that quickly. Units, Great War bombers have a range of 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. let's move right to max range here, and then next turn, if we choose to, we can go into range, take some shots, and then move, if not out of bomber range, then out of city visibility. Although he does also have a triplane, which is providing vision within 6 hexes as well. Or maybe it's not 6, maybe it's slightly more, slightly less, but the triplane is definitely enhancing that city's vision. Alright, and this frigate has finished healing up. He doesn't have range, but we can bring him down maybe to here, keep an eye on enemy or any possible enemy ships. Who are we still at war at? We're warnings and tripping over words. We're at war with Brazil, China, the Inca, Spain, Arabia, Korea, and Rome, and Polynesia. Alright, that's actually not so bad. Oh, Denmark too. Alright, so we used to be at war with many, many more civilizations, but people have sought peace with us, and now we have a little less to worry about in terms of fleets headed our way. I guess we could try taking down this city and potentially killing the aircraft station there. We'll see if the chat has any suggestions. Let's roll. Wait, we have someone to shoot at. We're not at war with... Alright, we'll shoot that archaeologist and the settler. We just have open borders with France. We're not actually at war with them. And whoa. So the lag is definitely getting worse. Hopefully, my PC will be able to make it to the end game, win or lose, and we're not going to run into an unusable save or anything like that. But let's roll the turn over. Carcian thinks I should back off from Brazil and wait for battleships. I guess at this stage it's too late to slow Brazil down, and it does really look like Brazil's going for the tourism win, so we don't. It's not as urgent now to knock down their capital, to slow their science and gain science for ourselves. The thing is, we're not going to have electronics for, at the rate we're going, at least 30 turns. So in that time, I don't want this fleet, which was a huge investment for us, to be doing nothing. So if we don't attack Brazil, we'll need another target, a better target. Now, Avalage says that I accidentally sold 5 coal for 2 gold per turn to Attila during that whole mass coal sale that we did 2 episodes ago. That was definitely a mistake. These things happen. What else do we have here? Yes, it was T-Bone 512 that suggested we should have used this fleet to attack Lisbon, Madrid, and Porto instead of sending them over to Brazil, because, as I mentioned, we haven't made any gains against Brazil, other than taking out probably, what was that, 5 or 6 of the nuclear subs and capturing 2 for ourselves, which was nice. But the nuclear subs are only good at taking down other nuclear subs, really. Well, and of course, other ships. But what we want to be doing is capturing cities here. T-Bone 512 also suggests starting a 53 Civ game where we go for a domination victory. And maybe using the Huns for that. And Fraxotic echoes my response of, I don't think my PC can handle that. We're at turn 266, and things are getting laggier, and the turn times are getting longer. So if we had to capture all 42 other capitals, I have a feeling the game would just die. All right, so Morsos are denouncing us. That's not great, but sort of to be expected. Let's flip over to the most recent video and see if we got some comments there. Hachi is happy that I'm posting the Twitch live streams over to YouTube. And I do know that a lot of my viewers, even if the time slot does work for them, since I'm not a Twitch partner, the bitrate is a little too high for their internet connection. So hopefully I'll make partner at some point, and then you'll be able to adjust the stream quality. But regardless, I will be posting these videos over to YouTube because my YouTube audience is quite a bit larger than my Twitch audience. So I definitely want to share any of the streams that are of reasonable quality with all of you over on YouTube. And Evan Fleshig wants to know why the Russian leader animation is static or frozen. So, a limitation in Civ 5, I'm able to play with 43 civs because of a mod, but there's something in the Civ 5 engine or something that's very difficult to overcome that only allows you to have 22 animated leader screens. And so for the remaining leader screens, I'm using a mod that just replaces what would normally be a blank white screen with a static leader screen. So there's a limit to the number of animated leader screens that you can have. So that's what's happening there. Massive Effects suggests popping Great Scientists for battleships. I would rather, what I'm trying to do is save Great Scientists for when I have the science per turn that's enhanced by plastics or research labs. But since we're already way off, I think that using Great Scientists to get plastics would actually be a good plan. With battleships, we would be really strong, that's true. And maybe we could get more gains. Alright, fine. That's a good plan. We'll expand 1 or 2 of our Great Scientists to get plastics. We'll go get a bunch of research labs online, possibly wait a few turns, and then bulb for electronics / what we need for battleships. And then, hopefully, take enough cities that the science we lost from not saving our Great Scientists for a bigger bulb we'll be able to gain by taking large and powerful science-producing cities. All right, that sounds like a good plan as any. Let's start going for that. And since my spy steal wasn't successful, I think I am going to have to change my plan on the Great Scientist usage. China has flipped over to order. We can take some range on this guy. Although, with the artillery, he's not going to be safe with range. Alright, let's just have him run away. We can drop into... Let's see, we don't have open borders with Germany anymore. Alright, well, we could go and capture a privateer. That's definitely something that's welcome. Take out that artillery. This guy's got land targeting. This guy has naval targeting. Bring this guy over here. We're not at war with Russia. Let's bring the Great Admiral in. Okay, and with range as well. So, bring this guy. I don't have open borders with Greece. We could get into position to pillage that Roman trade route. Let's definitely do that. This guy now has range, so... but he's out of movement points. Alright, let's slide him. We'll leave him there for now. And these guys will keep taking shots at Kaopeng. If there were battleships, they could definitely outrange this artillery. But our main worry is Brazil and their air force. And the longer I wait, the sooner, or the more likely it is that they're going to have actual bombers, which will cause some trouble for us. Right, so this should be a decisive victory, but no capture. That privateer might be killed by the city. grab logistics here, park right there. And we have one shot left, which we can use on the city as soon as the game lets me. Right, and we may as well take a shot at that ski infantry. Okay, that's all of this dealt with. This guy doesn't have any cargo ships to pillage, and we'll get another crab online. Let's go, and who is our most wealthy friend? I think we had previously sold some crabs to America. Someone stole radio from us. We've got a 75 and a 50 turn steal time. I guess we could just keep some of these guys at home, try to level them up, and get some experience on them, and maybe they'll have better luck with that. So we'll have Alwyn on counter-espionage, but what's my best bet going to be? Arabia has the most potential, but our spy, who was there previously, was killed. I think the Songhai are trailing on science, as is Japan. Maybe drop into Mosan County or St. Petersburg. Let's move this guy over to Mosan County. And London. It's done a cargo ship. What's actually going to help us here? Another privateer for our Brazilian fleet. Let's build out as many privateers as we can before we obsolete them. And then choosing production over in Barcelona. We just finished walls there. We now have a lot of hit points on the city. If we're worried about running out of happiness, ooh, that's an excellent goal per turn. We could get to work on the courthouse. Or let's get another privateer going. Alright, that'll be fine. Now, what else do we need? So here we can take a shot at this embarked archaeologist. Assign delegates for world leader. We could go and vote for Montezuma again. I think we've been voting for Montezuma every time the host option comes up. Let's see, it's quite a long list. And looks like I've missed him twice now. There we go, the Aztecs. Give it delegates. And we can destroy this Spanish cannon. Or at least deal a bunch of damage. The Brazilian fleet, yeah, we'll start coming home, but let's see how much science or how far along our plastics bulbs we can get by expending one of our great scientists here. Okay, so discover technology. I want to grab both of these guys. For battleships, we do require oil, so we'll go into biology next, and then over to electronics. And we do have another great scientist saved up. Let's use the guy over in Iceland. Alright, so there is plastics done. We'll go and buy a research lab in the capital. And a research lab. What's our next highest science producing city? That would be York, London, or Dublin. A tie between York and London. London has more population. But why does it have slightly lower science? What are the citizens doing? Versus York. Right, we were employing more specialists in York. So we could do that in London too, especially if we're going to go and buy out a research lab here. So we'll employ a slot there. Are there any other slots that I want to be working? We could go for... I think this is fine, and I do want to switch that over. We don't need to be starving here. Growth in 1 turn, that seems like a good plan. Now, I don't think I can rustle up another 1,350 gold to buy another research lab, but we do have extra crab to sell. So let's see if the Aztecs will offer us something for our crab. Do a trade for iron. Is he even interested in iron? No. Okay. Well, let's just see who will actually pay us for crabs. So Austria, Zulu are interested in crab, but they're guarded, so I don't think they'll probably give us a very good price for that. The Shoshone are friendly. You want to trade here? Kerpultz A, welcome to the stream. Okay, selling crab for a lump sum of 240. And we did get our science per turn up a little higher here. But we're still pretty far behind. Alright, so what's going to happen faster? The build time on our research lab is 15 turns. We're going to have enough to buy a research lab in 11 turns. So let's just wait to accumulate the gold. And let's start bringing these guys back home to upgrade them to battleships here. If that turn tech prediction is accurate, we should have that in 9 turns. Although I don't think it's upgraded to account for... Alright, so... Brazil has actually moved its bombers away. So we could take a turn and let's see, maybe I should try to capture a nuclear submarine. No, I don't have any privateers left. Alright, fine. Let's leave. We'll go home, get the upgrades. We can leave some of the ships behind. The frigates that don't have range and logistics. We'll leave the Great Admiral here since he moves very slowly. And we'll leave the nuclear subs here as well, just to keep an eye on things. But all of our more veteran units will want to head back for the anticipated upgrade to battleships. Uh-oh, sounds like the cat is in a bit of distress. Alright, so yeah, we'll leave this guy here. And with this cargo ship, what would I like to do? Change home city, let's see, trade overview. Our biggest option as far as gold per turn yield would be London to Washington. That's not bad. I don't think we're going to get much more population at this stage, so let's send this guy. Highest gold. London to Washington. We've made peace with most of the world, so I think these more international trade routes will be safe. At least we can give that a try. And that'll speed along when we'll next be able to buy a research lab. Meanwhile, this guy will meet up with the rest of the fleet and then come home for the battleship upgrades with the rest of them. And I did forget to switch us over to strategic mode for this turn, which might mean a slightly longer turn transition. More denouncements from around the world, definitely troubling. And the final comment on our most recent episode on YouTube, Worst Pilot EU, that's one huge map. As we reveal more of the map on the minimap here, we definitely get a sense of how obscenely large this huge Earth map is compared to most of the maps that we would normally be playing Civ on. It's no wonder we're having so much trouble with the turn times. Alright, I'll go and scroll up in the Twitch chat, see if I've missed anything big. Korpilta A, we're playing on Deity here. And I'll throw up a list of the mods I'm using as well. Massive Effects wonders if lowering the graphic settings would speed things up. For tomorrow's stream, I'll set all of the graphic settings to low, or as low as they'll go, and then we'll see if that'll speed things up. That's a good suggestion. And what's going on with these Ethiopian privateers? We're not at war with Ethiopia. Ethiopia's in the atomic era. We do have spies headed over to, I think it was Russia, and then another guy on counter-espionage. All of our spy steal attempts in Brazil had massively long tech steal times, so we gave up on them. Despite the fact that they are farthest ahead in tech, they might have been the best people to steal from. Although, when the AI is on top on tech, they often will assign their spies to counter-espionage, making it much more difficult to steal from them. Our privateer was destroyed, or nearly destroyed, by the city here. Okay, so this privateer was destroyed by another privateer. They didn't get a capture off. What's the matter, cat? Siri? What's the matter? You don't sound hungry, you sound distressed. That's free. Alright, well, back to the turn. Let's see. Nothing we can pillage here. Our gold did go up, so I'm assuming we got to pillage off on that Roman cargo ship. Let's see. I guess we'll try to capture one of these guys. What else have we lost? Loth has entered the modern era. Ideologies adopted. Tengrism. No world leader chosen. That's interesting. We just finished biology and we've discovered oil in the North Sea. Which is actually, I would much prefer oil on land. We are importing some oil, I think. Yeah, we're importing oil from another CIV, so we'll be able to get at least 4. Is that a hairball, Sumi? We'll be able to upgrade at least 4 of our frigates to battleships, but we'd have to swing over to refrigeration to get those offshore platforms, which is a little too much of a detour, really. As much fun as it is to have a highly upgraded navy beating up on all these coastal cities, if we want any hope of winning this game, we need to get over to satellites to build out the Hubble. Alright, so glad to have the oil. Wish it was on land, but at least we'll have, let's see, 6 oil, 3 oil, 3 oil. And if we really wanted, we could take Cologne for another 5 oil over there. So potentially 12 oil in the North Sea right off of Edinburgh. Meanwhile, let's see, are we close enough to try to capture that sub? No. Okay, so what we'll do is pull this sub over to here, pull these guys back into, why not a nice little triangle. These guys are just going to go on alert. We'll hang out over here. This guy will pull into Lulu territory to heal up, and we'll drop the nuclear sub back here. This privateer, likewise, will go and heal up, and all of these other guys will be on alert. And we'll have this guy go to sleep. And everyone else will run home, anticipating the upgrade to battleships. So my cat's name is Sumi. She's an adopted cat. Her original name was Summit. Apparently her previous owners were really into mountain climbing, or some such. But Summit, it doesn't really fit for a cat's name. We decided to shorten that to Sumi. She's a little old, and she hasn't been feeling too well lately. Looks like she's sounding a little distressed, but she's a really friendly cat. Loves people. Doesn't really like other cats though. She's a big cat and can definitely throw her weight around. Alright, let's keep on dealing damage to the city here. And I suppose we just kill the privateer there. Alright, that's fine. These guys will keep on dealing damage. And we can take some shots at this privateer too. One shot here, 36 damage. Will that be enough for us to get a decisive victory off? No. So let's just pull back around to safety then. Meanwhile, I suppose we can leave this guy on alert in here, just so we have a little more of a view of the Atlantic. And leave the Admiral here. We should move this Great Admiral. Sure. That would have increased our damage that we dealt to this privateer. It might have been enough to make it decisive. That's right, massive effects. So we missed out on something there. Alright, so choosing production in Edinburgh. We finished the Hermitage. That's upping our culture output. Our next policy is in 1 turn. We'll probably open an ideology and try to get over to the 25% boost from factories. Boost to science, that is. But at our current culture output, that's going to take quite a while for us. Do I have more culture slots to work? No, not in this city. Alright, well, when's the next great scientist? 34 turns. Alright, let's try to speed things up here. Well, which city? What's our great scientist generation looking like? 9 in Dublin. The engineer here is in 14. Dublin, London, and Edinburgh. Okay, so let's build the national epic in Edinburgh. That will be our last scientist. We need to slow down the great engineer in York, since we're not going to be over to satellites for Hubble in 11 to 15 turns. So we'll unemploy both of these slots. And that brings our great engineer production to 38 turns. In Edinburgh, we'll start building out the national epic, which could get us 1 more great scientist. And we'll also go and employ the research slot. Starvation, we'll switch that over to default focus. Growth in 6, that's fine. And choosing production. Alright, so that was the turn. Alright, so this is the last turn for today's stream. I'll be back again tomorrow at the same time. And yeah, so we've got our research labs online. We're pumping 645 science per turn. We're still 20% behind the tech leader. We are working our way over towards electronics for battleships, where we're planning to go and head back to South America and capture those Brazilian cities, which will hopefully boost our science and gold output. Meanwhile, we are saving up gold to purchase a research lab in York. Yes, I am planning to do an evening stream in about 11 hours from now, so that'll be 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Massive Effects has, if you're going to be around, we can definitely test out Galciv 3 multiplayer. I think we're both huge noobs, so it should be interesting. If you have Skype, or if we want to be on maybe the Steam voice chat, we can do that too, if you're interested. And anyone else who might be interested as well can, I guess, try to show up in the stream or post on the YouTube comments for that if you want to organize that in advance. Now, it's possible that I might have a lot of work to do in the evening at the lab, in which case the start might be a little later, but definitely going to be doing some Galciv in the evening tonight. But that's it for today's Civ stream. I'll end the video / cut the stream once the turn finishes rolling over, in case something exciting happens during this turn transition. I suppose we should keep an eye on our Brazilian fleet, see if Pedro is advancing with any nuclear subs. Doesn't seem to be the case. Alright, let's swing back over to Kaopeng and see if Denmark's going to deal a whole bunch of damage to the fleet we have here. Austria has a few embarked units. Sweden actually has a decent fleet. Sweden has paratroopers out. Russia wants a research agreement. I'd rather save that money so I can rush by research labs. Although, right at the end, I might be regretting not signing a research agreement. We might need that to kick our way into satellites, but I think I would have needed to sign the research agreement a little sooner if I want to use the research agreement that way. In any case, we are definitely getting closer to taking down Kaopeng. We'll go and see what our prediction is for finishing out electronics. And enjoy your food there, Kirpitsa. Demos Kag, see you later, and a nice goodbye to everyone else in the chat. I think that should just about wrap up this turn transition. What turn number or player number is Assyria? Looks like Assyria's got a lot going on. That's pretty long there. Yeah, so Assyria is the last AI civ in that turn order, processing city-states. Then barbarians. I am very curious to see where the barbarians are on the map. So once we finish this game, win or lose, we're going to go and load up all of the saves, or at least some of the saves. We'll see if loading up the saves ends up crashing my PC as well. But we're going to load up some of the saves, use the in-game editor or maybe FireTuner to reveal the whole map, and get an idea of how the rest of the world evolved out of our vision. And I'm also curious to see if there are any enclaves of barbarians left. But that's it for today's Civ stream. We'll leave off quickly checking how much time it's going to take us to grab electronics. Now that the Great Scientist bulb has worn off, there's a more accurate prediction saying that it's going to take us 12 turns to get over to electronics. But yeah, and we can adopt a policy. I'll leave that as a question on YouTube. What policy should I adopt? Should I try to get over to free thought for the boost from universities, or should I sink a couple policies into the level 1 tenants so that I can get over to level 2 for worker faculties and the 25% science boost from factories? So I'll leave you with those thoughts, and that'll be it for now. Mass Effects wants us to check the spies before we leave. We're establishing surveillance in Wilson County in 2 turns, and over in Edinburgh, Alwyn is on counter-espionage. Alright, so that's it for today. For Civ, anyways. I'll see you all later.